Now, Gary Russell Jr. has lost his title, lost his bargaining power against Magaya. Is that his name, Magaya? Sorry if I butchered his name. From the Philippines. I had a feeling I put that on my Instagram feed. I think there's a possible upset coming on. There's so many things happening with Gary Russell Jr. A year ago he lost his brother, sudden death, to a heart attack. His brother he left kids. Gary Russell already has 3 kids, 3 children. Then to take care of his brother, as well his brother's kids as well, who just passed away. To going through the pandemic, didn't fight during the pandemic. He hasn't fought for 2 years. He's 33 in the lower weight. As you know, the older you are in those lower weights, it's harder for you. I mean, Doneo is an anomaly, he's a freak of nature. And his trainer, his father, has had his foot amputated. So his father wasn't around to even train him. He's been training himself while taking care of his kids, while going hunting for his own food. In Thanksgiving, he hunted his own turkey for his family to feed, and the inactivity as well. Then before the fight, he said he had an injury, a mystery injury, which he didn't want to tell us what it was, but he said it was. And then the weigh-in, he missed weight. The last time he lost a fight was when he had problems with the weigh-in against Lomachenko. So I was like, oh my God, this guy is going to lose this fight. But I was still thinking, Gary Russell Jr. he's still got the know-how. He's still got the experience. Then Magaya, he's a big featherweight. It's massive. It's basically a welterweight, boiling down to a featherweight like how Pacquiao was. He hits hard, is explosive. So I thought it was possible. So in the fight, by the 4th or 5th round, we saw the injury. It must have been his right shoulder, because Gary Russell couldn't use his lead hand, his jab hand. He just kept on using his left hand, and it still ended up being a close decision. What do you think of the champion now? I mean, it's hard to gauge now because you beat a guy who wasn't physically prepared. You could tell. He said it before and we could see it, So, it's all wide open. And another thing I thought about Gary Russell Jr. doing, all for the featherweight, the other champions have all been losing their belts. Josh Warrington vacated it. He got stopped violently by Lara. Then see what happened to Kiko Martinez when he dropped Kit Galahad. Gary Russell Jr. stopped Kiko Martinez. But, we don't even know who the best is now. I would like to think Navarrete. We see how Conlon against Lee Wood. Kanzu lost his fight as well against Lee Wood, made it easy, light work, so it's just everything was just leading to that. Now, what's Gary Russell going to do? What is he going to do now? That was his bargaining power, the World Championship. That's where he made his money. He's going to have to take less money now. Is he still willing to fight for less money? I mean, he fights basically once a year. The WBC are probably very happy for him to have lost that belt, because that belt is going to be more active now, which means more money for them. Gary Russell is one of those guys. As good as I think he is, I think he's just got a really high opinion of himself. He's very good. He's world class. I think he's pound for pound talent, but he's just not active enough. He's not active enough, and he's just taking a lot of things for granted. It's a shame. It is a shame. Now he's aging. injuries. We don't know how his body is now. You know, he's quite small actually. Was it 5'4"? Moving up to 1 or 2 weights, he might be just too small now. You know, is his body breaking down? Is he willing to take less money now? Now he's not the champion. You know, he's a champion. He fought once a year or once every 2 years in his last fight. Is he going to be more active now? Does he feel like he needs the money? He looks like a guy who's quite self-sufficient. Like I said, he does his hunting. He grows his own food. He's taught his family, his kids to do all that. It's quite a, you know, he's not like a flamboyant, you know, spends, like has an expensive lifestyle. He's just a, you know, a grounded human being. Boxing is just basically, he's just good at it and he just uses it as a job. I don't even think he loves fighting as much, because clearly if he does, not less in the contract, in his contract, where he gets paid, the promoter just can't afford to give him that money for him to keep him active. So he's going to have to negotiate with them and see how he could fight 3 or 4 times, 3 times a year, and just lower the money. Well, he's got no other choice. The money's going to get lowered now, losing. But we see how it goes. I will see how the champion, Magaya, I'm going to see how, you know, now Gary Russell was like, lost the belt. I think now you're going to see people willing to unify and being undisputed at the featherweight now. So we'll see how it goes. Navarrete, winner of Conlon against Lee Wood. Oh yeah, Gutierrez against Colbert. That's for the WBA. Gary Russell just lost the WBC, and the IBF is Kiko Martinez. No, not. I'm getting all confused with this alphabet things. Too many champions. Navarrete is WBO. So we see how everything goes. No, Colbert against, that's super featherweight. Yeah, sorry. The WBA, Conlon against Lee Wood. That's a regular WBA, but I have a feeling it's going to get upgraded to the Super Champion. So that's the WBA. WBC is Nagaya, who's just won the belt against Gary Russell Jr. IBF, IBF is Kiko Martinez, who just beat Kid Galahad. And WBO is Navarrete, the 2-weight champion, who will stop Dogbo. But yeah, we see who's going to be the best, hopefully in the next couple of years. Uncle T, signing out.